Okay, Gustavo, we're going to start with the basic question. Tell us where you're from and how you ended up in Quebec.
Well, I was born and raised in Guatemala. A beautiful place, but sadly enough, I left when was still civil war going on. And I moved to Canada, especially to Montreal in Quebec, where I've been living there for close to 19 years now. So it's one of the places I call home now.
One of the places?
One of the places I call home.
One of the places. What other places?
Guatemala and Barcelona.
Barcelona?
Yeah.
Do you have a family in Barcelona as well?
Yeah, all of my family, parents, sisters, siblings, everybody lives there.
So how did you get into jewelry design?
Well, I was actually, after noticing that my political science studies were really, the perspectives of doing something interesting with them in Montreal were bleak. And I decided to take a class just to actually get creating again. In the past, as a child, I had been interested in sculpture. So when I started working with small little pieces, it actually inspired me to pursue training and to become the jeweler I am today. It's taking a while.
You went from political science to jewelry design. Am I hearing you correctly?
That is correct.
I say that because I have a political science degree too. So it looks like we get those degrees and we don't do anything with them. I'm in the same boat. So.
Well, actually, I created. Political science allowed me to gain consciousness of many different things that go around, and jewelry design and the actual making of it allowed me to free myself from many of the things that go around. And actually, as I create and I'm there just turning a piece of metal or anything into something I find pleasing, it actually allows me, I think, to be a better person.
So if I remember correctly, you find liberation through the manipulation of the metals. Is that correct?
Yeah, the deliverance comes after we create the piece. The whole process at times could be frustrating, but at times it's rewarding. I mean, every time you do something, you learn either from the success of the manipulation of the material or the actual failure, because there are some pieces that don't come the way you want them. And at the end, I guess an extra hit with the hammer just makes the sounds come together and the piece is born.
So what inspires your pieces? You have some extraordinary pieces there that is quite unique. Where do you get your inspiration?
Well, as a result of the invitation for this show, I decided to go back to the basics of the principles of design, being form, volume, and texture. So I decided to use different media and explore, again, volume and form and texture. When I say texture, I mean colors and I mean the polished surfaces and the contrast that we could get from different materials. So I've used copper and silver, and that allowed me to put color into the metal. And then I work with wax that allows me to get intricate shapes also while trying to just chisel at a piece of wax that it doesn't look like nothing at first, but once it's cast, it takes a life of its own. And in this case, I was aiming for something like sculpture out of bone. It was just very, very interesting.
Out of bone?
Yeah, like through history, humans, we have used many different media to create jewelry, either being a trophy after hunting or just as a souvenir on the beach. So I was just trying to, create little pieces that will remind me of different objects that I see.
Now, do you take any inspiration from your Barcelona or Guatemala?
Well, I actually, I would have to say yes, because have been in these two incredible places allow me to see what's out there. And when you walk around on these places and you see the people, how proud they are and how they carry themselves with different ornaments, being simple as being a piece of hand-woven textile in the foothills in Guatemala, or being architecture or pure aesthetics in Barcelona, they all come together, and it's, in my opinion, is quite beautiful.
Tell us about that extraordinary gold necklace there.
Well, like I said, at first it's just a strip of metal, and then as I go on and I start trying to figure out how I'm gonna hammer it and turn it so it never loses the fluidity on the shape. And that for me is the challenge. And once I'm confronted to a challenge where I have to be keen and careful not to score or bend the metal in a way that it won't be pleasing to the eye, I actually, and more than anything, I really enjoyed making the tools to make the piece. Because I create the tools, little pieces of wood or plastic, in order to be able to reach spaces and be able to hammer to get the anti-classic and the synclassic shapes.
And then the bracelets, the cuff there. You have a couple of cuffs in your collection.
Yeah, I'm in love with the effect that copper and patinas bring, the color and the texture. They were inspired mainly by overlooking mountains while flying to different places, and aerial views are some of the things that really I enjoy, and we don't get to see that often, but when we have the chance to see it at being rice paddies or being just for little forest or walk in the park, allows me to, and I gain inspiration through that.
All right, thank you very much, Gustavo.
Well, thank you.